How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Manatee Gaming. So in today's video, I'm going to be answering a frequently asked question with a video response. so someone was asking me, actually not really just one person, but quite a few people asked me, what are things that they should be doing before they start trying to go for 99 Slayer or 120 Slayer, or really do any kind of PVM in general. And there are several different things that you should be doing in the game, but as a brand new player or someone who is looking to start going in the right direction to get yourself to where you want to be in PVM, your place you're going to want to start is going to be Dungeoneering. So Dungeoneering has quite a few rewards that are really good for Slayer, and actually they're really good for other things as well. I'm actually going to go over that in just a minute. This is kind of a Dungeoneering rewards video, so if you're well aware of all the Dungeoneering rewards, this video might not be that helpful for you. But if you're one of those people that are like, well, I don't really like doing Dungeoneering, but maybe there's a reason why to do it. And then also I'll be discussing, better ways of training Dungeoneering if you don't actually enjoy training Dungeoneering. So we look in here real quick. As we go through here, we see some basic items that you should be working towards buying. We can see right here the Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher is basically going to destroy bones as they would be dropped, and then that will give you the prayer experience for burying them, and then that will also work with another item in here, which is the Demon Horn Necklace, and the Demon Horn Necklace plus the Bone Crusher equals Infinite Prayer, pretty close to Infinite Prayer. As you can see right there, it says this item restores 50 prayer bonus for burying a normal bone, 100 for burying a big, baby, or dragon, and then 150 for doing a dragon or Dagonoth, Frost Dragon, Hardened Dragon, and Reinforced Dragon bones. So this does also require 90 prayer. It also requires 90 Dungeoneering, and then you have to be able to buy this for 35,000 tokens. But these are definitely well worth getting, and those two put together is essentially going to be Infinite Prayer during your tasks. So those two are a really great combination. A lot of people are unaware of the fact that Demon Horn Necklace is actually that good. In addition to giving you that recovery, it's also going to give you a 5 prayer bonus, which is nice. It does not provide any kind of like combat bonuses besides the prayer bonus, but the Infinite Prayer definitely makes up for that because you can actually use all your boosting prayers pretty much infinitely while you are using that combo. Obviously against monsters where they don't drop bones, that is not quite as good. But anyway, continue through here. Herbicide, another really great thing to have before you start going Hardcore Slayer. This will turn all your unnoted small herbs into EXP. You'll get 2 times the EXP you would get for cleaning that herb, so it's a great way to just get some extra herb lore experience as you go through Slayer. It may not sound like very much EXP, but over time it does add up to be quite a bit. Next thing is going to be the Charming Imp. Charming Imp is arguably one of the best items in the entire game. If you do not have your Charming Imp yet, then honestly Charming Imp should be probably your goal. The only reason I would think of if you don't need Charming Imp would be maybe if you are a level 3 who does not do any kind of PVM. But if you're not going to be a level 3 and you're going to be a normal account, then you do need to have the Charming Imp at some point. Essentially what it will do was it will loot all of the charms into your inventory. And then it will also, you can also set it to destroy the charms, and if you destroy the charms, it'll give you a little bit of EXP. A personal recommendation here, guys, is I would just recommend you pick up all charms. It doesn't really matter what color they are, because later on they could be more useful. I personally do have like 40,000 golds, 40,000 of greens on this account, and I don't regret it at all. And if you actually think about how fast summoning actually is when you start training it, you don't really benefit from that little bit of XP from destroying them. So they're actually way better just to save in case you need them later on. Going through here, we see the Scroll of Life. It's actually more of a farming boost, so I'm not really going to get into that right now because I'm not literally telling you all the different things for. I'm not literally telling you all the different things for Dungeoneering. I'm really just focusing on the Slayer stuff. So. The next thing for Slayer is going to be the Gem Bag. The Gem Bag is really awesome, especially if you're doing a task such as Abyssal Demons or something like that. You really want to have a Gem Bag. That's going to be a lifesaver. Essentially, what happens is when you pick up a gem, it does not auto loot the gems, but when you pick them up on the ground, they will go into this bag automatically, which is nice because originally you actually had to fill the bag as you went, but now they just automatically go into the bag, which is really useful. I highly recommend having this. Dungeoneering basically has a lot of items that you'll be able to not have to loot stuff on the ground. Or just be able to use up your spaces a lot better. So next thing here is these necklaces, which are not very good. You should honestly just avoid buying these. No, don't buy those. If the Twisted Bird, not really useful. Coal Bag, not really that useful, but if you somehow find a monster that drops a lot of coal, maybe Gem bag upgrade is an obvious thing to get later on. You do want to upgrade your gem bag eventually. The funny thing is though is that the gem bag right here is arguably sometimes more useful than the upgraded bag, so it's kind of annoying. They basically made it so with the gem bag upgrade, you can hold 60 of each gem, and then the non-upgraded one you can hold 100 gems total. This one allows you to store a dragon stone. This one does not. The thing with this one though is if you're fighting a monster that only drops one type of gem and they drop a lot of them, something kind of like abyssal demons, you are able to hold 100 in this one, but only 60 in the upgrade. Now I understand obviously that being able to store the dragon stones is worth it, but in a situation where your monster only drops one type of gem, the regular non-upgraded one is sometimes better. So I really wish they would update this to make it 100 of each, not 60 of each. It's kind of stupid. The next thing we go through here, guys, is going to be all this crap you should not be buying. Ignore all this. The Tome of Frost is okay. It's not really related to Slayer, but it's a decent item. The Amulet of Zealots is definitely a really good item to have. Amulet of Zealots, I'm not really going to get into the real in-depth explanation with this, but it is a good item to buy in order if you really just want to do the highest DPS possible on some tasks. Do a little bit of wiki work on this Amulet of Zealots, and you'll understand more about this one. This is actually a pretty intricate item. Essentially, what it does is when you have a prayer that only affects one of your skills, like it only boosts one of your skills, it'll actually boost it more, which allows you to do, if you have like a single attack style, like say you're boosting your magic, and only your magic, then your Amulet of Zealots will increase that. It does come with a -5 to your prayer, and you're going to have to use a lot of prayer potions when using that. Just keep that in mind. But so we go through here. Scroll of Efficiency and Scroll of Cleansing, definitely things you want to get. You can get those along the way to your other stuff, but that's not really related to Slayer. Scroll of Efficiency is also not related to Slayer. Dexterity is, kind of is, but no, well, actually, no, it's not. That's the crafting one. Gold Accumulator. So gold accumulators are kind of cool. If you have like a lot of extra tokens, like if you've already bought everything else and you're looking for something to buy with your tokens, the gold accumulator is not that bad. What they do is they will auto loot all coins that drop on the ground up to 1 million, and then after 1 million they will be destroyed. It's actually very useful to save quite a bit of time on Slayer, and therefore it actually does increase your Slayer XP per hour. So you can keep that in mind. A lot of people don't really consider oh hey, this is new. I didn't actually see this. An overcharge will allow your gold accumulator to collect an additional 5 million coins. Oh, that's pretty cool. I actually didn't even know they came out with that. Hey, look, we learn something new all the time. So if 5 million is actually pretty cool, an additional 5 million. So that means that if you buy both these together, it'll loot 6 million coins. That's pretty awesome. So essentially, guys, when you look at this though, you not having to loot the coins in the ground is going to allow you to save. You're going to allow you to make more money during your tasks. If because a lot of times they'll drop small amounts of coins they normally wouldn't pick up. Well, with this, you can easily pick them up and not worry about spending that time. But even the ones that are worth picking up, the coin stacks that are worth picking up, you can use gold accumulators to save the time of you having to run over there and loot them. So these are actually definitely worthwhile if you've already bought everything else. And also keep in mind the gold accumulator does start at a cheaper price than 60,000. It's just every time you buy it, it goes up. I think there's a cap on that, but anyway. So next thing is going to be Ring of Vigor. Ring of Vigor is really useful as far as like if you don't have like a better ring to wear. Ring of Vigor is pretty useful against bossing. As far as your typical Slayer tasks, it's not really worth using it, just because the fact that so what it does basically is when you use an ultimate ability, then you will continue to instead of going down to 0, you'll go down to 10% adrenaline, which is really useful against a boss, but against Slayer tasks, it's not really that important. So we'll just keep on going through here. We got some other things. So we've also got these chaotic remnants. So chaotic remnants are actually shockingly good. So what these are actually, a lot of people have no idea what these are. So this is probably if you are not learning something so far, maybe learn something right here. If you have the Saradomin's Murmur, if you have the Saradomin's Murmur, Hiss, or Whisper, which are buyable in the Grand Exchange for very cheap, they're basically a very powerful amulet for each one of the attack styles. If you use a chaotic remnant on them, they are still non-degradable, so they don't degrade, but it turns their boost into 44, which is really, really useful. You'll get a strength of 44, a range of 44, or a mage boost of 44, which that makes these chaotic remnants, if you put them on those amulets, actually makes them really, really good. I actually use those 3 necklaces myself whenever I'm not using Bone Crusher, or sorry, yeah, whenever I'm not using Demon Horn, I am using the Chaotic Remnant instead of using like an Amulet of Souls or whatnot, just because Amulet of Souls is kind of overkill for most Slayer tasks, but these Chaotic Remnants are really nice because they don't degrade and they give you a massive boost, so those are pretty awesome. If you don't have a lot of money, then you can always use the option of using a Chaotic Weapon as a weapon. They are tier 80 and they last quite a while, and they are free because you get them from Dungeoneering. So if you don't want to spend some money on weapons, then you can get these. They're not too bad. In all honesty, these weapons are pretty solid, and for most Slayer tasks, tier 80 weapons is really all you need. Obviously, having tier 90 is going to be more helpful, but if you're kind of on a budget, these tier 80 chaotics are really not something to overlook. And also, if you are to augment them, they are very cheap to use in comparison to a tier 90 augmented, so something cool to keep in mind there. The shields are not really going to have anything to do with Slayer, so they're honestly not really good at all for that. Chaotic Splint is used for the defenders. If you're hunting down defenders, that's going to be a whole different story, so we'll come back to that. Demon Horn Necklace, like I already said, is kind of the obvious there. Well, alright guys, so there is that. So that is basically the Dungeoneering stuff that you should be paying attention to. If you are looking to do Dungeoneering, then I would recommend 2 different things. Because there's a lot of people that are like, well, I don't like doing floors, I really hate doing floors. There's a couple different options. So you can try the Free Leech Friend Chat. It's called Free Leech, Free Space Leech. You can try that friend chat if you want to. You do have to be a higher level Dungeoneering to be able to join that friend chat though, so that's something if you're just a higher level already and you don't really want to train it up on your own, you can try doing that option. The other one's going to be sinkholes. You can do 2 daily sinkholes per day. If you're a brand new player or a player with lower Dungeoneering, then doing sinkholes is probably going to be your best bet to get your levels rolling because sinkholes are a lot of EXP per day. If you're unaware of how to do sinkholes, then you can just check out a wiki guide. They're extremely easy to do. I just recommend trying those out, especially if you've never done them before. They give you quite a bit. If you're a higher level Dungeoneering, they give you actually a massive amount of EXP, so they're definitely worth doing. The last thing I'd recommend would be daily challenges. So as you can see over here, I've got my daily challenges always set to Dungeoneering because I'm not 120 yet. I'm a 116 Dungeoneering, so getting there. But basically, if you guys look at this right here, look at my EXP, it's 75.5 million Dungeoneering. I get all of that from just doing my Delve into Davenheim dailies, and then also doing my sinkholes. I mean, and I actually only do probably maybe like, I don't know, not all my sinkholes I should be doing, but as you can see how quickly it goes up. I do not really train Dungeoneering outside of the daily challenges or the sinkholes, and that's how much EXP I've gotten. So definitely highly recommended to get those levels going. Aside from that, though, if you want to start doing Slayer and everything else, the last thing I would recommend here is just like something to work toward in the beginning. Is doing your quests. So unlocking as many quests as possible, because that way you'll be able to do better Slayer Masters, better monsters, better equipment, and everything like that. Really work on getting your equipment and stuff like that set up before you are going to really dive into the Slayer world. But alright guys, that's really all the time I got for tonight. It is pretty late, and I really wish I could make a longer video, but I will talk to you guys in the next video. Please feel free to leave comments below if you have any comments about the Dungeoneering items I went over, or maybe the different methods of helping people out. If you guys know a great way to prep for Slayer, if you guys know a great way to get your Dungeoneering level up quickly without really doing the floors, feel free to share that as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks. You guys have a great night.